Namaste friends, welcome to another video of Dozume Civil Engineering course. Do subscribe and press the bell icon for regular video updates. So without wasting time, let's move to the class. Question number 1. The pathogens can be killed by nitrification, chlorination, oxidation, all of the above. If you know the answer, comment it with the specific question number. So what is pathogen? Pathogens is a kind of bacteria which is mainly responsible for waterborne disease like cholera and typhoid, and it is only can be treated by the chlorination. So option B will be the correct answer. Question number 2. Why carbon dioxide is called a greenhouse gas? Because they absorb heat, because they absorb moisture, because they absorb oxygen, because they absorb hydrogen. So what, if you know the answer, comment it with the specific question number 2. What is greenhouse gas? Greenhouse gas is basically the kind of gas which trap the heat and do not allow to reflect it to the atmosphere, and carbon dioxide is one of them. Carbon dioxide have the specification of transparency. It's allowed to enter the heat to the atmosphere but trap that heat and do not allow to reflect it, so the temperature of the atmosphere rise slowly. So option A will be the correct answer because they absorb heat. Question number 3. Which is the first zone of purification in a sand bed? Heterotrophic zone, osmotic zone, electrolytic zone, as autotrophic zone. If you know the answer, comment it with the specific question number. Basically, by the gravitational action in the case of sedimentation field, just like slow sand filter, or in the case of rapid sand filter, for the gravitational pull, the fungi, the algae, the bacteria slowly settle down over the sand bed and create an extra layer over the sand bed known as the osmotic zone. Basically, this layer may be thick up to 5 cm, 3 cm to 5 cm, and after few weeks it's function like an extra filtration layer over the sand bed, and it is the basically the first layer of purification which basically filtered 60 to 80% of impurities. So option B will be the correct answer, osmotic zone. Question number 4. Which of the following gas is released when alum is added to water? I hope you know the answer, then comment it. Basically, if you add the alum to the water, it will produce carbon dioxide. So option B will be the correct answer. Question number 5. Which of the mentioned devices are used for removing vapor, phases, gaseous pollutants? Catalytic converters, absorption tower, thermal oxidizer, or all of them above, all of the mentioned. Look, all of them answer are correct. So go to the option A, catalytic converters. Basically, catalytic converters is a kind of chamber which is fixed to the automobile's exhaust pipe or to the exhaust pipe of any industry. That's why within the chamber, the catalytic pads absorb the impure or toxic gases and release the pure gas to the atmosphere. Number 2, absorption tower. Absorption tower basically fixed with the industrial exhaust pipe, and it's contained a large amount of fluid. Generally we use water, and the toxic gases dilute with the water, and breathable air or the allowable air released to the air, and the impurities dilute with water and discharged to the discharge pipe. Option 3, thermal oxidizer. Basically, in the thermal oxidizer, the hydrocarbon divide into 2 parts, carbon dioxide and H2O, by the help of high temperature, generally 590 degrees Celsius to 650 degrees Celsius. So all of the answers are correct. Question number 7. In the lower layer of atmosphere, what range of wavelength of light is predominant? Most important question. Less than 100 nanometer, between 100 to 300 nanometer, greater than 300 nanometer, all wavelengths are equally present. If you know the answer, comment it with the specific question number 6. All of you know there are 5 layers of atmosphere: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. Troposphere is the most fast layer of atmosphere which is extended up to 12 km, and exosphere is the outer layer of atmosphere which may be extended up to 10,000 km, though it have not any clear boundary, but it may be extended up to 10,000 km. Talking about the wavelength of light, just like sound wavelength, we can't hear below the 20 Hz and we can't hear above 20,000 Hz. Just like that, we can't see any color which have the wavelength below 400 nanometer or have the wavelength above 700 nanometer. So basically, all of the color we see have the wavelength within 400 and 700 nanometer. Basically, the shorter wavelength rays have gamma rays which have 0.01 nanometer wavelength, and the larger wavelength have the infrared which have 700 to 1000 of wavelength nanometer. And most of the shorter wavelength absorbed by the atmosphere itself within 100 kilometers. Shorter wavelength lesser than 100 nanometer absorbed by the atmosphere, the top atmosphere, and the up to 600 nanometer wavelength absorbed by the troposphere, but lesser than 600 nanometer and larger than 300 nanometer it can't absorb, so it reflect and we can see the colors. So option C will be the answer, greater than 300 nanometer, but always remember not larger than 600 nanometer. Question number 7. Which of the following device is used to prevent the clogging of sewer pipes? Drop manholes, storm regulators, flushing tank, lamp hole. If you know the answer, comment it with the specific question number. Basically, flushing tank we will use for the avoiding of the clogging of sewer pipe. Basically, we stored a large amount of water in the water flushing tank, and after the rotation period, after certain time of interval, we release the water with high pressure to clear the sewage. Okay, so option C will be the correct answer. Question number 8. Which of the following is known as shut-off valve? Air relief valve, sluice valve, pressure relief valve, or altitude valve? What do you, if you know the answer, comment it. What do you mean by shut-off valve? That's mean it shut the water flow. It is also known as gate valve also. The answer will be sluice valve. You can see the picture on the screen. The sluice valve or the gate valve we can use as a shut-off valve or to the closure of the water flow. Question number 9. The spacing between the sluice valve is 10 meter to 50 meter, 50 meter to 100 meter, 150 meter to 300 meter, or 300 meter to 500 meter. This spacing of sluice valve is depending upon the area. If the population is too dense, then we have to provide the sluice valve more closer. If the population is light enough, then we will provide far distance the sluice valve. So for the closer area, we will choose 150 to 160 to 170 meter of distance between the two sluice valve, and for the light populated area, we will go for the 250, 280 or 300 meter of distance. So option C will be the correct answer within the range of 150 to 300. Question number 10. Which valves allow water to flow in one direction only? Air relief valve, sluice valve, reflux valve, altitude valve. If you know the answer, comment it with the specific question number 10. Sorry. Basically, reflux valve only allow to flow in one direction. While we can use the reflux valve, we will use reflux valve for the case of sewage transport. The home sewage we connect to the main sewage pipe, we will use the reflux valve, which allow to flow the sewage only flow to the one direction, and in any case, or for the any incident, it can't allow the backflow to the main sourcing. It will resist the backflow. It consists of a gate which will automatically close in case of any backflow occurs. So that we will use reflux valve. So option C will be the correct answer. Question number 11. Suspended solids are measured by which of the following? Turbidity rod, gravimetric test, chromatography, or none of the above? If you know the answer, comment it. Turbidity rod is basically used for turbidity test. Chromatography is used for the odor one. So option B will be the correct answer. Gravimetric test will be used for suspended solid measurement. Question number 12. The maximum permissible limit for suspended solid is 10 mg per liter, 20 mg per liter, 30 mg per liter, or 40 mg per liter. Basically, according to Environmental Protection Act, for the wastewater, we will allow 30 mg per liter of suspended solid. The maximum limit is 30 mg per liter. Okay. Question number 13. Which method is used to measure the color of water? Chromatography? No, it is used for odor one. Gravimetric? No, it is for the suspendable solid. Tintometer? Tintometer is used for the color of water? By the help of cobalt scale, we will use tintometer method. Question number 14. Which type of bacteria has a rod-shaped structure? Cocci, Bacilli, Spirillea or Vibrio? Basically, if you know, the Cocci had a spherical shape, the Spirillea had a spiral shape, the Vibrio is just like comma shaped, and the Bacilli is just like the rod shape. So option B will be the correct answer. Bacilli had the rod shape structure. Question number 15. The time period for which the water is stored in a sedimentation tank is called setting time, frequency of flow, time of flow or detention period. For generally sedimentation purpose, with the help of gravitational pull, we stored the water for a certain period, basically known as the detention period of the water. Okay, so option D will be the correct answer. Question number 16. Why magnesium carbonate is not commonly preferred as coagulant? It does not remove color, it is expensive, formation of sludge, or the time required for flock formation is less. Basically, the magnesium carbonate and lime dissolved with water and magnesium hydroxide and calcium carbonate formed, and just cause of that the sludge may be formed, so that we will avoid the use of magnesium carbonate. So option C will be the correct answer, formation of sludge. Question number 17. The chlorine which serves as a disinfectant is free chlorine, chlorine demand, residual demand or free residual chlorine. If you know the answer, comment it with the specific question number 17. What is free chlorine? Free chlorine means the amount of chlorine is still active for its disinfectant purpose. What is chlorine demand? Chlorine demand is that amount of chlorine which is required for complete purification of that water. That is chlorine demand. You can easily identify the amount of applied chlorine and with the substrate of residual chlorine. So you will easily get the amount of chlorine demand. So option D will be the correct answer. Free residual chlorine will be the answer, which serves the purpose of disinfectant. Question number 18. Bleaching powder contains what amounts of available chlorine? 16%, 33.3, 66.6 or 99.9. If you know the answer, comment it with the specific question number 18. Option B will be the correct answer. Bleaching powder have 33.3% of chlorine. So question number 19. In which form of chlorination chlorine applies to raw water supply as it enters the distribution system? Plain pre-chlorination, plain chlorination, super chlorination or double chlorination? Look, what is, if you know the answer, comment it with the specific question number 19. What is pre-chlorination? Pre-chlorination means if you add chlorine before the filtration process, then it will be known as pre-chlorination. If you add chlorine after the filtration process, it will be known as post-chlorination. If you add the chlorine before the distribution system only, it will be known as plain chlorination. If you add huge amount of chlorine for extra safety, for the excess amount of bacterial or poisonous water, then it will be termed as super chlorination. So these are the terms. So here the question is before the distribution system. So option B will be the correct answer, plain chlorination. Question number 20. Which is the application, what is the application of chlorine at 2 or more points in the purification process? Super chlorination, pre-chlorination, plain chlorination, double chlorination. So basically if you add 2 or more times the chlorine, it will be known as double chlorination. We already discussed before. So I think you learned a lot of things today. Subscribe to Resume English and press the bell icon for regular video updates. Stay happy, stay safe. Namaste.